What's going on, people? Here for the fourth episode of the Stu Bangas podcast. Each episode in the comments, anyone that has questions for the next episode, please enter them in the comments so we have another episode to keep doing each week or each month. Been doing them about every month, every 2 months. Gonna shoot for every other week. Just been caught up with a bunch of stuff. So moving right along. This Friday, a new project I did with a group called Horror City, Superstar of Horror City, drops on my Bandcamp and streaming everywhere. Afro featured on one of the joints, a bunch of superstars, homies on there, all of them my production. The first single was called Fake It Till You Make It. Shout out to Eclipse spinning that joint. The new joint, me and Thurston Howell III and Shock G's son, Young Humpty, dropped. Word to Mother, that's streaming now, so go check that out. Anyone that needs the vinyl for Afro Mind's album, that's on my website. You can grab that. And yeah, among other things. But moving right along. All right, so the first question we got. This was from Vinny Paz 6307. Could you talk in another episode about how you started learning to produce, specifically with the MPC? I'm starting with it, and this will help me out a lot. For now, I've been making beats. Oh, geez, I'm so old. Since like 2000, bro. I'm aging myself here. But there was not that many tutorials, YouTube videos, etc., etc. You can find that stuff pretty easy. Me personally, guys giving tips on how to navigate the MPC, etc., etc. I learned back in the day from my homie Chop LaRock. He taught me, he showed me in person how to chop samples on MPC 2000 XL. And, I had started off, I got turntables, techniques, and I was getting pretty good with those. I was very good at blending, pretty good at juggling, and decent at scratching. Then I just started making beats full time. My man Chop LaRock showed me how to chop up a sample, either on the eighth notes, quarter notes, 16 notes, 30-second notes, and those pattern. It was like copy the sample, chop it, copy the sample, chop it, copy the sample, chop it. And that's how you did it. And then you laid them out on the pads, and you could either chop the end of the sample, and if you had to time stretch it, you could time stretch it so there was no gaps, or you could leave the end of the sample with a piece, and you could mute each sample with the next one, you know what I mean, to cut it off. And yeah, that's how I learned. But nowadays, like I said, you can go on YouTube. Quick plug, my Patreon page, Stu Bangas' Patreon page. It's specifically tailored for beat makers. I've got quite a lot of tutorial videos on there, and then I post weekly videos of me making beats, like a stream. And then also samples every week for producers. So the link is in the description of this video. Check it out. You might be something you're interested in. So we got a good community there. Where was the second question? This is from Francisco Montano 2304. Shout out to Francisco. Where was the first time you heard of DJ Premier, the GOAT? So I heard of Guru before Preemo. My dad had gotten the album, the Jazzmatazz album, the first one, the blue one. And he put me on the Guru. And then I was like an avid reader of The Source back in the day. And there was an ad in the back of The Source where you could get a VHS videotape sent to you every month. It would have 10 rap videos on it. So I got that. So I subscribed to that. And then I remember one of the videos was Mass Appeal. And I had Preemo cutting up on the turntables in the video. And that song was just crazy. That's how I first heard of Premiere. Shout out to Preemo, man. He's my GOAT producer, and he's also like a really cool individual and a nice dude, and he shows love. Question for another episode. Okay, this is from Elio D'Agostini. Question for another episode. What's your arrangement process on the MPC? Would love to hear more about this. I told you guys about the Patreon page. I touched on this on there, but quickly, you know, if I'm using a drum break, I'll have a track for a drum break. And then I'll have a track for the sample that I'm chopping up. I'll have a track for the bass line that I'm gonna play. I'll have a track set up for any effects I want to add over, or extra sounds I want to add over the main sample that I'm chopping. That's how, and then, okay, if I'm not using a drum break, obviously I got a track for the hi-hat, the kick, the snare. I might have the hi-hat and the open hi-hat on the same track. I might have them on different ones, probably on the same one. And then that's pretty much how far I take it. If I'm gonna layer the drum break, like back in the day when they didn't have some of the effects that they have now, I would layer the drum break if it needed it. And then I would put that other layer on another track, make it play simultaneously with the drum break that I'm using, and then filter it so only the lows are coming out, just to beef it up. But you don't even really need to do that anymore. You can just EQ and gate and compress stuff so much now with so many of the plugins. Because after I'm done making a beat, I'm dumping everything to Pro Tools. And you know, all these things have so many plugins you can use. You can beef up everything to make shit sound banging, make stuff sound banging. So that's my typical arrangement process. But if you want to see more tutorials, again, check the Patreon page if it interests you. All right, from Stuck 1000. Shout out to Stuck 1000. He hit me with 4 questions. Do you still go out digging, or do you have connects that get you good records? I don't go digging anymore, man. I'm too old, and I got my son. He's got baseball. He's got soccer. He's gonna do wrestling again. I gotta go to the gym. I make most of my money off hip hop, but other than that, I got another job. Like I'm bouncing at 2 different bars every week. You know, you always need more money, especially when you're divorced and you got child support. Even though I got 50% custody of my son, but you know, and the cost of everything's going up. And then some months are good months, some months not so good. So I got obligations. I just don't have time to go out and dig like I used to in my 20s and early 30s. I do have some connects that I get records from that I've met over the years and I stay in touch with. They know who they are. Shout out to them. I'm sure they hook up other people, but I can't reveal my sources. But it's whatever, man. So yeah, that answers that. He also said, do you ever use eBay or other online sources? I used to go on eBay. I have done that. It's been a long time. I've bought sound library records off eBay, like Bruton and KPM, DeWolf, stuff like that. And then that was a long time ago. So not much anymore with that. What's the most you ever paid for a record? Probably close to like $100. Not much more than that though. And it might not even have been 100, but I'm sure it was close to 100, if I'm being completely honest. And the last question, that one was from Stuck 1000. His last question is, you obviously have your own sound, so you must encounter samples that would make good beats, but not your style of beat. So what is it you listen to or look? What is it you listen or look for in a sample? Just something grimy, man. Like I love when there's synth in there and bass in the sample. I'm still gonna add my own bass to it, but like you know what I mean, like some synth bass in there and some higher synth above it. Or just a dope soul sample or a dope 80s rock sample. It just has to have bring some emotion out of you. That kind of just makes you make that expression in your face, like, ugh. Like something you can lift weights to, or even some emotional soul type stuff. But it can't be corny though. You know what I'm saying? That's the best way I can articulate it. I guess I know it when I hear it, but those are usually the elements I would say that I look for. if it's something I hear that's dope that I might not chop, I might help my son chop it up, and he might make a beat out of it because he just likes making beats. He don't even care. Like I'll play him samples. Like sure, let's use that. Like he doesn't. He just likes the process of it. So that's something that happens sometimes. From Dash wait, I'm sorry, Dash ED Sense Dash Rivera 3716. I think Lloyd Banks would sound nasty on your beats. Have you ever worked with him? That would be a dope Halloween Havoc album. I never got a chance to work with Banks, man. I would love to. We just did the one. I did the beat for Paz on his new album. He got Young Buck on that. Shout out to Paz for that look, man. Young Buck killed it, man. It was dope how he even shouted out Vinny in the verse, with his last bars of the verse. But I don't know, maybe Lloyd Banks will hear that or something. But I just never had the connect to get in touch with him. Maybe I could ask some of my acquaintances that I've seen have worked with him. So that would be sick, man. You know what I mean? But I was very excited about working with Buck on the Paz one. From the 10th question is from Lux Soul. Whatever happened to Vanderslice? Y'all's collaborations were dope, and I haven't heard anything from him. But maybe I'll have to dig some. I think I touched on this before, but I appreciate the question, Lux Soul. Thank you for liking the kind words on our collaborations. Vander still makes music. I see what he does from afar. He has me blocked on like pretty much everything, but he got pissed at me about the DWA, the Diggers with Attitude album. There was something about a tweet. He thought I was taking credit, I think, for one of the songs. That's the way I remember it. It's been so long, I could be wrong. I know I wasn't trying to take credit for it. I guess I could see maybe how he might have thought that. But I mean, I got no problem with Vander. Like, he never did anything to me. He's friends with some people I don't like, but I touched on that already enough. Some of those individuals. But yeah, I think he's still making beats, man. You know, he was always nasty with it. Shout out Vanderslice. Shout out Lux Soul for the question. Any chance of a collab with Jarren Benton? Cool Aid Gamer with the question. I've seen him like some of my stuff on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's liked some of the beats. I never really reached out to him because I know he got that one dude that he works with. The kid would be posting a lot of stuff on TikTok and everything. And I just never really reached out to him, but I've heard he's dope. And I heard a couple of his joints with Paz, or one with Paz in particular. So I would definitely work with him if the opportunity arose. The 12th question from Han Flow Case. Apologize for it being a bit of a long-winded question, but do you know of any websites, videos, or a rough explanation for a new producer in regards to drawing up a contract/producer agreement when it comes to leasing, selling exclusive rights of your beats to rappers? I'm unsure whether or not to register each instrumental with my PRO before sending them to rappers. My advice, go on BeatStars, man. They have some good contracts on there, or just you could try just Googling it, man. I'm sure there's contracts out there, boilerplate ones. You know what I mean? Or you could find an entertainment lawyer, music lawyer specifically in, nearby, and find out what their rate is and have them draw one up for you. But I mean, BeatStars has a good one for when my son sells his beats, because one of the options on there is exclusive beat sales. That would be my advice to you. Hopefully it helps. The 13th and final question. Would you ever work with Pro Dillinger or Snotty? This question comes from Sherm Penn 4184. So I was working on some stuff, not directly, but like by association with Pro. I think it was for a group project that was being put together, but it did not materialize. And I do remember hearing his stuff on my beats, and it was dope, So I don't see why not. I don't know who Snotty is, though. Can anyone let me know in the comments? Like, should I be checking for him? Is he dope? Is he down? He must be down with Pro Dillinger, I'm assuming. So yeah, thanks for all the questions, guys. I'm gonna start trying doing these twice a month. This last one was like took me 2 months, but it was just so much stuff that I got caught up in, family stuff. Studying, I got certified as a personal trainer also. So I was like studying like 4 hours a day. I passed the exam, failed it the first time, passed it the second time. So, and I'm gonna try to get that business off the ground as well. But yeah, this Friday, me and Horror City are dropping that project. It's called. I'm so old. I can't even remember stuff anymore. It is called Phantom of the Opera Rap. The artwork's sick. He can spit, man. I worked with him on the album me and Afro did, and then I was like, why don't we cook something up? So we got that dropping. It's got Afro featured on it. Afro mixed the whole thing down. Me and Afro got another project in the works the end of this year, a part 2 for our album. Me and Wordsworth are doing another one. I just did the one for Paz with Young Buck. I just did a couple beats on the new Bernadette Price project. Go check that out. One of them featuring Rusty Jux, the other one featuring Smith & Wesson and Tara Van Poo. I just did a new one for Mad Child called False Alarm that dropped last Friday. And I got 2 really dope projects, but a really big one that we just did the paperwork for with the investor. I don't want to talk about it yet, but it is happening. I can't wait for y'all to hear about it. It will be the biggest project that I have been a part of so far. It's all my beats. I'm collaborating with another producer. And just like, it's just the biggest thing I've been a part of. So I'm very excited about that. I don't want to release the info yet, but we will be talking about it in the near future because it is official. It has been, the paperwork's been signed by all the parties involved. So I'm very excited for that. Anyone that wants to check out mine or my son's beats in the description, I'll put links, my Patreon page, anyone that wants to support, and it's tailored for beat makers. It'll be in the description, as well as my website where you can support with merch and vinyl, CDs, etc. Thanks for all the questions. Anybody that's viewing this, please feel free to ask me any question. No question is too stupid. Just trying to keep the podcast going, and I appreciate everyone that supports Stu Bangas, Young Bangas, Brutal Music. Much love, y'all. We've been doing this for a while. A lot of y'all been riding with us for like over a decade. So much love, man. Peace. Y'all all be good, all right? Word.